Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to Atticus Live. I am Jordan.
And I'm Desiree.
And we are happy to have you. How is everybody today? All right, we are stoked to get another one of these rolling. Let's see, who is out there today? We got Jake Lamson. What's up, bud? David Kilgore, Jake Lamson again, Hans Jensen. What's up, Hans? How you doing, man?
Got Steven Darla, Ralph Lang, Owen Kitsmitry. I'm so bad with names. Brian McLellan. And we are broadcasting from Jonesville, Roatan, which is
Jonestown.
I keep on thinking it's Jonesville.
Jonestown.
Are you sure? I think it's Jonesville.
It might be. It's Jones something.
Yeah. Jones something Roatan, and it's a little bite that's kind of tucked away on the east side of the island. So it's really cool. It's only us and one other sailboat here in this anchorage. And we decided to push the live stream forward a little bit so you guys can share the sunset with us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy, okay.
Oh, what's up? There's my brother. Cushy Pushy, Salty Time, or Salty MF. And Jordan's parents, Steve and Rita, Josh Burns,
Mike Hagan,
parents-in-law,
Hugo Benitez,
Lisa Zach, Peter T, CT Huff. How's it going, guys? Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and start asking us questions. Anything under the sun, ask us anything. If for some reason we don't get to your question, just go ahead and ask it over and over again. It's really hard for us to get to all the questions, and sometimes they just get eaten by the internet gods. So just keep on asking. And then we've got Dave, who is our moderator. You can see him with a little tool next to his name, and he'll be sending me some questions that he thinks are particularly interesting on my phone. So yeah, ask away.
All right. And a couple more people. We got Frank Tartan. We got Dave in the house, DV Zire. How's it going, Dave? Thanks again for joining us, man. You are amazing. Mm-hmm. You are a superhero.
3B Mom.
Yeah. Lisa Zach.
Oh, nice.
We're doing good.
Gabe Vieira. My vision is so bad. TM Lee, 1130. Frank Tartan. Let's see. Oh, SV Spirit Libra, you made it. Nice. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So, first of all, we do want to mention that we've got the cool cowboy hat, and that is because we are going to be doing another Atticus t-shirt giveaway today, which is super exciting. So same deal as last week. Basically, to enter into the raffle for a free Atticus t-shirt, all you got to do is donate $5 or more on Super Chat.
Or PayPal.
Or PayPal, that's right. And Desiree will add your name to this lovely Guatemalan cowboy hat. And this is an authentic Guatemalan cowboy hat, in fact. And so much so that when we would ask people in Guatemala where to buy this hat, they would just look at us and lie to us. Yeah. They'd be like, anywhere, and they'd walk away. They obviously did not want a couple of loser gringos buying their super cool cowboy hats.
I think what happened was they thought it was so obvious where they got them that they didn't really know what we were asking. So they're like, the store, where everyone gets their hats.
But ironically, there's like 2 stores that you can buy these from, you know.
Oh, thanks, Darlin, Steve.
SB Sunday's in it to win it again.
Can I win the hat?
Can you win the hat? Boy, we will have to do that one day. Someday, not today, though. All right, so while you guys are getting your questions ready and asking them, like Desiree was saying, sorry if we don't get to your questions right away. If you've got a really pressing question, just keep asking. Also, if you're going to be donating through Super Chat, attach your question to the Super Chat. That's a very surefire way to get our attention. But otherwise, here goes our first name into the hat.
Steven Darla. All right, we had already somebody who was asking how has our first week in Roatan been, and it has been very Atticus-y. So we ran from Utila to Roatan because we heard there was going to be a big cold front coming through. And what we didn't realize in Utila is that once cold fronts come through, the wind actually kind of bounces off the mountains on the mainland, and then we get a southwest wind coming through the anchorage, which in Utila is unprotected, so we were getting bounced around. So we decided to come to Roatan, and just in time for another cold front, and so it has been rainy and misty and very cozy.
Yeah.
All right, Mike Hagan, thank you so much. Going to the hat.
Yeah, so anyway, we have been enjoying it to the extent, thank you, Mike Hagan. Ashley Shutter, hey!
Aww.
Ashley Shutter, cheers! And then
Cheers to you.
Ralph Lang is getting into the raffle. He says,
Nice.
"Where's the beer?" No beer tonight. Both Desiree and I are just too tired today. We both are on caffeine at the moment. We need all the help we could get.
Actually,
And then Stephen Lee, you got a couple of people here to win a T-shirt. That's exciting. But anyway, so to continue on that same concept, so last week when we had our live stream, we were in the midst of a cold front, and that cold front wasn't all that bad when we were talking to you, but the next morning the wind shifted out of the southwest, and boy, things got really sketchy. It was so gnarly in that anchorage because it was completely exposed to the southwest, so there's a lot of chop, and we ended up really close to the shore. So another situation. In fact, real quick, SV Spirit Libre, thank you, amigo.
Thank
Cheers.
you. No worries, we'll count your $4.99.
But anyway, so the that anchorage became very sketchy very quickly, and we had like 24 hours of just kind of pucker time, you know, really, I'd say maybe 100 yards away from the coast. And it's one of those situations where we're very, very happy about our Mantis anchor. And we're very, very happy about having an oversized anchor, because it's situations where you're not expecting it, the wind pops up, you end up really close to the shore, and you're really crossing your fingers that anchor doesn't drag. So having an oversized anchor is just a godsend in situations like that.
And Anthony Morris, your name's going in the hat. He says, "I need a T-shirt. Grab a bottle of rum on me." Awesome. Yeah. There's actually no grocery store around. Oh, there is a grocery store around here, but I found out the hard way that there's no bank close by to our anchorage. So we are living on rations right now.
Yeah, we accidentally did not get any cash before we came to Roatan, and we chose a somewhat remote anchorage in the sense that it's not next to a big town, and so we don't have any cash, but we'll make it work. We'll figure it out. And so somebody was asking earlier about the internet here in Honduras, and I can't speak about the rest of Honduras, but so far the cellular data, which is what we're using right now, we're hotspotting off of my cell phone here, and the cellular data is great, and the coverage is just incredible. I mean, we're here in this, you know, kind of out of the way anchorage, and we've got 4G. So we've said it before, and I'll say it again, at least in the Western Caribbean, I'm just amazed at how accessible and plentiful the cellular coverage is.
And Brylan's coming from Ireland. Awesome. Another Irish folk out there. Ralph Lee says, "How does the windlass handle your anchor? I just put the same one on my boat, as I don't want to depend on electronics."
Yeah, rock on. That's a good point. And I'd say that the windlass handles it just fine. We've got a 45-pound Mantis, and the manual windlass is great.
That's good, because Frank just said, "Mention the size of the anchor again, please."
That's right. So it's a 45-pound Mantis, which for our boat, Atticus, is 30 feet and 12,000 pounds of displacement. And so for our boat, that anchor is considered a storm anchor. And real quick, I don't know if you can see these guys. Oh, you're just missing them. But you can hear their motor. They love like coming right by the boat. It's really funny. And they're like, what in the world are these people doing? Looking at a computer and talking really loud. But anyway, oh, Hugo Benitez. Gracias, amigo.
Thank you.
Anyway, so for our boat, a 45-pound Mantis is considered a storm anchor. And so generally 65 knots or plus wind. Now, we don't almost ever find ourselves in 65 knots of wind, but we do find ourselves in 40 knots of wind with really poor holding. And so to me, that's why having an oversized anchor is really great as your primary anchor, not because you expect really, really strong winds regularly, but because you can expect really poor holding fairly regularly in our experience. And so huge anchors go a long way in helping fix that.
Also, most of the time you can keep your eye on the weather forecast and know when you're going to get an increase in wind, but sometimes it comes out of nowhere. So having a huge oversized storm anchor as our primary anchor really lets us sleep a lot better at night, because we don't have to worry when we hear the wind generator getting louder. And things starting to vibrate.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm just gonna fix our brightness here real quick. So bear with me, guys.
Sail Libra, how's it going? Ryan in the house. Darren Pickavance. Hi from Australia. Love the channel. What time is it over there? Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we got that, or we got
Also,
one
while
more.
Jordan's doing that, we had one of our patrons, Taylor Huff. Yeah, Taylor Huff, and he sent us 10 questions that he wants us to go through. So we're going to try to get through all of them just in the middle of all these comments. So we'll start with one, which is what sailboats, make, model, and year did you look at before purchasing Atticus? And what did you like about the Allied Seawind 30?
Well, I would say that I think we only really looked at 3 different boats. We looked at an Alberg 30, a West Sail 32, and then Atticus, which is Allied Seawind 30. And I'm happy with our choice, although an Alberg 30 would be a pretty sweet boat as well. But the West Sail 32 is a really good boat, and it's obviously it's a world traveling boat, but it's not the boat that I would like to have, just because I really have come to enjoy Atticus's performance under sail, which I think she definitely outperforms a West Sail. But
that being said, Atticus was the first sailboat we physically checked out, and we bought it. And we were in the boatyard for maybe 3 months before I was on anybody else's sailboat or really knew what the interior of other sailboats look like. And the first other sailboat that we went on was a West Sail 32, and I went down below, and it's, for those of you who know West Sail 32s, it's ginormous and spacious, and the galley was beautiful, and I was just like, what did we do? So now I appreciate Atticus, but after that, Jordan was like, okay, we're not looking at any more boats.
yeah. Well,
heads down on Atticus.
West Sail 32, and then you went aboard a Hans Christian 33, and it was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they had like 3 cabins on the Hans Christian. That was wild. And here we are in Atticus with 1 V berth, and Jordan can't stand up in the main cabin.
Yeah.
Robert Donnell says hello from Cincinnati. James Lake in New Zealand, how's it going? Tiger Johnson, hi guys, you look great. This evening I have been on a meetup with Rand Sailing. Oh, very cool. That's awesome, in Sweden. So 2 sailing channels in one night. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then F the new comment system says, did you see SV Hilma lost their rudder this week and needed rescue? Just posted an update. I didn't see that. We'll have to check that out. Very interesting. If I was still in the rudder building business, I might have contacted them. But I think my rudder building days are hopefully over. Where's some wood? I'm going to knock on that wood. Yeah. And then Glenn Gutschel says wet snails. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the personification that West Sails get. They're just a little bit slower, on the slower side. But at the same time, you know, they will safely get you around the world, and that's what counts. It's definitely, it's not a race with us, that's for sure. We've been sailing around the Western Caribbean for like 3 years now. But anyway, hopefully we're going to be speeding up the pace here soon.
Cheers, Peter Grimes.
Peter
Thank
Grimes.
you so much. Love the channel.
Gracias, amigo.
I like those emoticons. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Ashley Shutter was saying there's a Allied Seawind 30 on sale for $1,000 in her marina. Wow.
Yeah, so if you've got a lot of time to do a lot of work.
Yeah, we bought Atticus for $5,000, but we probably should have gotten her for free.
Yeah. And Ralph Lang is in on the t-shirt contest.
Again,
cheers, Ralph.
Cheers.
All right. And so for all you newcomers, real quick, we're doing the same thing as last week. We're doing a Atticus t-shirt giveaway contest. Anybody who donates $5 or more on Super Chat or PayPal will get entered in to our raffle here. Desiree is putting all of the names into this cool cowboy hat. And I actually forgot to mention that all of the proceeds that we gather tonight are going towards a new GoPro.
This one has been with us since our first cute little vlog in 5 years ago.
Yeah, we literally filmed our very first video on this. We filmed most of all of season 1 for the most part, and we are still using this thing. And the seals on the waterproof housing are starting to go, so water got into the GoPro and it's acting very odd.
Yeah,
so,
and the screen keeps on fogging up, so we actually lost a lot of good footage.
Yeah, so anyway,
recently.
all of the proceeds tonight do not go to anybody's drinking habit. Goes 100% to GoPro. So thanks, guys. Real quick, Patrick Coate, which first of all, Patrick, thanks for joining,
Cheers.
buddy. Good to see you. Patrick asked a moment ago here he says, are you going to cross to Europe? If so, when? Good question, Patrick. Well, basically, we are going the opposite direction, which is really too bad because I know Uma's going that way, and it'd be really fun to get to hang out with Uma more, but we'll have to meet them on the other side because we are heading east ultimately.
And we have more time to plan Atticus too.
Yeah, exactly.
Stephen Lee, cheers. Thank you very much. Name's going in the hat.
Cheers, buddy. So we are going to be trying to cross the Pacific this coming spring, basically. More or less a little bit over a year from now, we hope to depart on our Pacific crossing and head for the South Pacific. And so that's going to really change up things. I'm really curious to see how good the internet is over there. We should get a hold of Gone with the Winds. I know they're over there right now. Because it's going to be tough if it's as remote as I think it's going to be. So we will be making it to Europe not for a long time. We're definitely planning on going up through the Red Sea and braving the piracy there, but we're not going to get there for a couple years at least.
No jobs in the house. No job. Where have you been?
Yeah, no job. He asked Argentina. Yeah, Argentina would be badass, but I don't think we're going to be doing any higher latitude sailing in the Americas with at least not this time around. We'll see. We may try and outfit Atticus to be a little bit more well suited for cold weather, and then start to tackle some of that higher latitude stuff later on.
And then Wandering Nap says, Chris and Jolene just joining. Greetings from Texas. There are like 20 Texans ashore tonight. It's like Texan Bay. Somebody was asking about our internet, and Jordan talked about this a little bit already before, but we're using 4G data from our Honduran SIM cards.
Yeah. And then real quick, Hugh Van Dunn says, hey, why did you point towards Des when you mentioned drinking habit? Yeah, I'm not supposed to say anything, but
I got a problem.
Desiree gets drunk
Clearly.
and beats me all the time.
Josh Burns, Sailing Doodles are over there too. Oh, all right, cool. RJ Salty Adventures, Sailing Doodles is over there and they had pretty great service. Owen says Captain Rick Moore is going to be coming your way. Cool. We need to watch more sailing channels because most of the time I'm like, who's that?
Yeah. Hey, we got Sail Libra in the house. He's asking about the Northwest Passage. Yeah, totally. I just got to put a little bit of reinforcement in the bow and we'll just break through some of the ice on our way up that way. Yeah, I'd like to. I know you would, Ryan. I wonder if that's in your plans. That's actually a great question.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're going to do that on Atticus. That might be, and mostly because of our motoring range. You know, it'd be nice to be on a boat that has larger tankage of everything. You know, more diesel, more water. I think getting that far north and doing that sort of stuff, you need to be ready to be at sea for a long time.
Cheers, Patrick Coate. Your name's going in the hat.
Yeah. And then Sails and Tails. Cheers. Thank you very much. Says, cheers, guys. Hope to see y'all out there one day. Hashtag GoPro Hero 7.
Yeah,
Rock on,
man.
What
do we have? We have the GoPro 3.
Hero 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
When I was on Sail Libra, one of their trips, Ryan was asking me about our itinerary for this coming season, and I told him we were planning on going to southern Cuba, and he was talking about how, you know, it might be difficult the time of year that we're planning on going, but the good news is we met a couple of couples out here who actually sail quite often from the Bay Islands to Cuba around March and April, and they said that that's, in their opinion, the best time to visit. So that was a relief with that. So that's kind of our plan next, is to go to Cuba.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Cuba, sometime around February or March. We got some pretty exciting projects coming up, including solar installation. So I'm going to be trying to install solar panels basically right here so that they can, I guess you'd call it swing up and then down. So they'll go up into position to charge, and then when we're underway, we'll kind of stow them vertically, and that way they can kind of be out of the way. So that's going to be an exciting project, and we are going to be ordering solar panels and having them shipped here to the Bay Islands shortly. So we're going to be here for a little while, but it seems like there's plenty of cruising opportunities here, and just so much cool stuff to see, and so much good snorkeling and free diving to do.
And then SD1212 Abel or Richard says, do you guys want that Rain Main water maker? And we basically don't have room on it for Atticus. So thank you for the offer. It looks really badass, but we're gonna have to pass.
Yeah, the water maker that we have, also we've already bought all of the components for building our own water maker. And the reason I went with building our own is so that I can put each component in a different location, because it'll actually all fit on the boat. Not to mention that I was excited to build, I guess I would say, a more simple system than many of the ones that you can buy. But and on top of that, I think regardless, we're going to be building our own shortly, and that should make a really interesting video or 3. I am looking forward to that.
Sean Murphy says, how did you trick her to go with you?
Sean, that's a great question. I don't know. We were already working on boats together. We were working on super yachts, and that sounds like it might be similar to what we're doing now, but it's almost as different as it possibly could be. Real quick, Robert Miller and Matthew Smith, cheers guys.
And Robert says, we received our t-shirts today, look great, awesome. Oh, also send us the photos of any of your Project Atticus swag, and we're going to start putting it at the end of some of our episodes. So we got some really awesome photos so far from Steve and Darla and their dog Simon, and then Brad Scott over in Texas and his dog Whiskey, which is a great name for a dog, and he's in our little get up, so it's cute.
Yeah. Hey, and Andy from Boatworks Today is here. What's up, Andy?
Cheers.
Says having a beer for you guys.
Aww.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. What are you drinking? Let me know. I'd be really curious.
And then Matthew Smith, your name's going in the hat.
And then Grant Grove says, build a stern davit for panels and dinghy hanger. Well, you can't see it right now because the mizzen's in the way, but basically we have a wind vane, a monitor wind vane hanging off of our transom, and that pretty much totally ruins any possibilities of davit solar panel system back there. Not to mention that the mizzen boom hangs over the transom as well, so it wouldn't be all that great of a spot for solar panels for that reason as well. So definitely unfortunate for our situation, but we've got some solutions that we're working on. But I did really like the idea, how I was able to convince you to get on the boat. I've answered that before, but what was it that worked, do you think?
Well, I guess I was working on super yachts, saving up money to do an around the world backpacking trip. So my goal was basically to save up enough money to do solo traveling, and then once I ran out of money, my plan was to have started a vlog so that I could start making money while I was traveling, because I had met a lot of traveling bloggers back then at the time. And then I met Jordan, and he was into film, and he told me that sailing was a lot like backpacking, except you can bring your bed and your kitchen with you. So it just kind of sounded exciting, and also he was just so pumped about it. And Jordan is the kind of person who when he's excited about something, like, his energy is so kind of intoxicating. So I was just like captivated by that excitement. And then I decided to test him a little bit. We went on a trip together to Southeast Asia, and I was kind of testing him out, seeing how he would do with traveling, because I have a very particular way of traveling. I like going to local grocery stores and houses and restaurants, and I hate going to the biggest bar in town with all the American menus and or English menus and everything. So we went to Thailand and Laos, and it was amazing, and he was making everyone laugh. So on his birthday, I said, okay, I'll come with you. Little did I know it would be a 3-year refit. That was a big source of contention once we actually bought Atticus.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that was a very foot in the door sort of situation where I convinced her to do it. I literally told her that the refit would take, did I say 3 months?
3 months, yeah.
I think I said it.
Probably about 3 months.
It would take 3 months. In reality, it took about 3 years. In fact, Stephen Lee says, did you tell her it would only be a 3-hour tour? Basically. Like, that's pretty much exactly what I said. But to be fair, it wasn't malicious. I didn't know. I had no idea too.
Yeah.
So, but I think what helped was that we both had the exact same goal, which was traveling. In fact, Lynn Party talks about this a lot in her books, that she and Larry were really interested in sailing first and then traveling second. And for us, it's definitely the opposite. We were both, our life goals and our life decisions at that, age of our young adulthood was 100% geared towards traveling. And so that's how we met each other, working on super yachts. We were making decisions that were gaining us that objective. And so in that sense, we were already very like-minded. And even on the super yachts, it was somewhat luxurious living in some ways, but in others, like the space that you had to live in, your personal space, was very small. And so stuff like that, we were both very accustomed to sacrificing normalcy for the sake of traveling.
Yeah, and so work hours, for example, like on yachts, you basically don't have any free time while a charter is happening. But the reward is you're in this beautiful location, and if you did your job well, then you get a really awesome cash tip. So yeah, you're right. We were both used to sacrificing as much as possible in order to see as much as possible. And I do remember when we were on the same boat together, I would literally have my backpack packed with water, a bottle of wine. I would grab extra food from the refrigerator, just like I don't know, block of cheese, some bread, and like a salami or something, and our rock climbing gear, and then we would just head off, every day after work, just find some kind of adventure. So I really like that about Jordan. Okay, Sam Sanchez, thank you as well. Your name's going in the hat.
Sam Sanchez, muchas gracias. We got Richard Hill.
Oh.
And then, I'm sorry, I've been a scroll hog. And then SC1212 Abel. Cheers. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
I missed so many.
Yeah, and then we got Dave. Says, ahoy, Atticus. I like that. You're both looking gorgeous this evening. Why, thank you, Dave. What a lovely evening in the cockpit. That's right, it really is. And then Sail Libra in for the bonus round here. Says, get that new GoPro. Come on, gang. Let's help them out.
Aww.
Dude, thanks, Ryan. We really appreciate that.
Cheers.
Yeah. And so we are really stoked about our upcoming episode that shows Desiree's experiences on Sail Libra. And we'll probably talk about it later on in the live stream. But if you guys are ever considering getting your feet wet with cruising, or specifically with offshore passage making, with blue water sailing, and you don't want to take on the responsibility of being the captain of your own boat while you're doing it, Sail Libra is a super good option. Basically, they'll take you offshore. You get to be on the boat with a bunch of other people that are a lot like you, and learning how to run a boat offshore, and you'll just get to learn a ton from some really experienced people, including the captain, Ryan.
And what's also cool about it is, even if you have your own boat and you plan to cruise in the future, it's really hard to get experience before you actually cast the lines on your own boat. So a lot of the decisions that we made when we were refitting Atticus were kind of hypothetical. We're like, well, maybe we'll need a water maker, maybe not. Maybe we'll need a dodger, maybe we won't. We didn't realize what we needed until we were actually out there. So that's another good use case for going on one of those trips, is just to see what it's like and what you personally would be comfortable living with and without.
Yeah. And what's the promo code that they can use?
You can use capital PA Offshore, and they've got a really awesome Caribbean tour coming up. That's their next trip that's available. And then the discount on that is $500, so they're going to St. Kitts and a bunch of really fun places. So check out their website, saillibra.com, and use PA Offshore. And then also, this is really exciting, but Ryan and I just worked on some koozies. So if you go on a Sail Libra trip, if you book by this Friday and you go on one of those trips, you get a free little koozie that says Sail Libra and Project Atticus, the little love baby of 2 boats.
That's awesome. All right. And then real quick, somebody did ask, what about complete newbies? And yeah, that's exactly what Sail Libra is great at.
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally go onto the boat and be like, what's a boat?
Yeah.
and they'll take it from there. You know what I mean? Like they are totally prepared for people that have never done anything like that before. Cooks, if you can talk for a second.
Sure.
I got to deal with the color again.
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
And then Ralph Lang says, what you are doing right now is normal. The crap on land is the abnormal. Awesome. And your name is going in the hat. I think I missed one more. No, I didn't. And then Dave brought to our attention a good question. He said, Chris Economides asks, just wondering, why don't you buy a Rain Man portable water maker that costs significantly less than a boat-mounted water maker? Just curious.
To be honest, I think that the way that we're doing it, building our own, is probably the most affordable. We're getting a little bit of, whoa, that's cool. Just because if you buy all the components yourself, you can make it really simple, and you can you don't need to get, long story short, I think it works out that it's not as expensive. It takes a lot more time. And so that's why we don't have a water maker right now, is because I don't have the time. So maybe I'm kind of putting my foot in my mouth on that one.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And then Ralph Lang asks, is your dinghy a Zodiac? If so, they only make PVC. How is it holding up in the sun? And our dinghy is a Zodiac, but it is Hypalon. So I don't know if maybe they stopped making Hypalon dinghies. Do you know anything about that? Okay,
so that's a great question. And I've got to look into this more. But as I understand it, Zodiac has some sort of very similar to Hypalon material option, because when we bought this boat, it was advertised as not being PVC. Now, maybe we got duped, but I've heard people tell me before, they're like, oh, well, Zodiac doesn't use Hypalon. Well, I think they have some sort of very similar material that they use that's just not technically Hypalon. Because the material itself is holding up pretty darn well. The glue was the problem, but I really don't think it's PVC glue that was coming undone. It lasted, the glue didn't need to be mended at all for about 3 years.
Yeah, we took it to a dinghy repair guy, and he seemed to think it was Hypalon, our material. You'd think you'd be able to tell the difference. Bob Yandel, thank you very much. Your name's going in the hat. And also, Bob, did you sign up for one of the trips on Sail Libra? I just got a message from Ryan saying that someone named Bob signed up. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. And SV of Spirit Libre asks, how many times can we enter?
So many times as you want.
For the raffle, as many times as you want. Every time that you do a donation over $5, then you get your name put into the raffle again, literally doubling your chance of winning a free Atticus t-shirt.
Just ask Hugh Van Dyne.
That's right. I'm getting bit. I'm getting bit up. Here, sorry, I'm gonna adjust this again. Okay. I just can't win with this thing. But anyway, but I did see real quick though, somebody was asking a really good question that I caught a glimpse of. And oh, here we are. So Wandering Naps, I believe that's how I'd say it, says, great info for learning to sail, captain's license. We are buying a boat in May, selling everything in Texas and moving to Florida. Would you recommend we just wait to learn on the boat we buy or get licensed first? So I think that it's never too early to start taking courses, but I should be really careful about how we put the word license. So I don't recommend that the pleasure boater or yachtsman or cruiser, that's a better phrase. I don't recommend that cruisers get U.S. Coast Guard captain's licenses as a way of learning how to handle a boat and cruise. The U.S. Coast Guard's captain's license is a licensing requirement for making money on boats. So for taking on paid passengers or situations that have, large insurance needs. I don't think it's a very good learning experience getting your captain's license. It's more like jumping through hoops. So what I would recommend is taking classes through ASA, the American Sailing Association. They have some great courses, whether it be like cruising specific courses, navigation courses, boat handling, sailing, you name it. And I would recommend that you take as many of those courses as your wallet and your time allow. I think they're wonderful.
Yeah, and then once you have your boat, you can start using what you learn on your boat. I think it's better to start learning before you buy your boat, mostly because you can have those experiences influence your decision to, you know, what boat you do want or what you want on your boat for cruising. What was I going to say? Carl Fair says, the folks who bought my Alberg 35 tried swing up solar panels. They said docking was very hard. They always worried about breaking them. Mount the panels so you can pull them off quickly. Yeah, we were literally just talking about that today, and I was like, if they hang over the stern area a little bit, it shouldn't be a real big problem, right? But it is a good point.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, they should be good to go when they're in the stowed position, in the sense that they should be inboard of the rub rail. And so that's my big thing. As long as when they are stowed like that, if they're inboard of the rub rail, then it's not as big of a deal. We were considering an option back there that would have permanent panels kind of on the quarters mounted to the stern rail, and that would leave the panels outboard of the rub rail slightly, and to me that's when you'd really run into trouble. So that's my big design goal, is to have it inboard of the rub rail. Did you get Bobby Andel already?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cheers Bobby Andel. And then oh my gosh, did I miss these? Ralph Lang.
I got Ralph. Oh, Ralph Lang is in it again, so no, we didn't get that. This is for a beer tomorrow. Put me in again for a shirt.
All right, thanks Ralph. And we got Sam Pratt. You guys are great. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Sam. All right, very cool, guys. So anyway, let's see here. Ralph Lang says, Ocean Yachtmaster out of the UK is an awesome course. Goes through all aspects of sailing, including weather. I totally agree with that, Ralph. So I actually have a 200-ton Yachtmaster, and I think that was a good course from a learning standpoint, in the sense that there is a whole practical part of the course where you're out on the water and you're doing really cool things, like you're learning how to, you know, get a running fix and all kinds of really useful navigation concepts, as well as if you've got a good instructor. I had some great teachers, and they did an amazing job at just drilling you, and your homework every night was intense. So I mean, that I did learn a lot in a relatively short period of time there. Still though, I would go as far as to say that anytime that a course is about licensing, you're gonna drift into an area that's not so useful for a cruiser. So Yachtmaster is great, particularly if you're like, I wonder if I'd ever want to work on a yacht. Then yeah, go for it. But if it's simply for cruising, personally, I would recommend something like ASA, because they can be very specific. There's no licensing requirement, and so they're just trying to teach you whatever it is that class is about, which I think is the way to go. That said, Yachtmaster again was such a great learning experience for me. Sailing Vessel Uncensored says hello from Florida. Cheers, amigo. And we got Michael Seymour. Michael, thanks, man. And then Rambler is in on the t-shirt.
Oh, what a good name.
The t-shirt giveaway
Rambler.
Game. Yeah. I like this. John Archard says, I got you two guys on my big screen TV. It's pretty cool. Like you're in my living room. That's awesome. Cheers, dude. Yeah. It's really funny whenever like the few opportunities that we have to go back to the States or whatever and see big screen TVs, because we just don't see them or encounter them ever anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's really like blows me away or whatever.
What is that?
I'm like, you have this in your house?
Yeah. Bill Connolly, thank you very much. Going in the hat.
And then Sailing the Goose says, Jordan, Desiree, we love you guys. Ben and Allie from Sailing the Goose. Cheers.
Nice. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Let's see here. Sean Murphy says, I saw solar attached to the railing on the stern. They were adjustable, folding down, or with the sun. Gotcha. There you go.
Did you already read the comment about Drake Paragon?
No.
Apparently, somebody was mentioning that Drake Paragon has an interesting mount for his solar panels, so we'll check it out.
Right. Yeah, we definitely will. And then Kevin Walker says, with all this money, buy a bigger boat. That's a great point. That's next week's live stream. The money from this live stream is going for buying a bigger boat.
And then we could not afford any of the gear on it.
Yeah. So, and that is actually a great point. As somebody mentioned on our Facebook the other day, we were sending a update from our Delorme InReach, which is our satellite texting communication device. And they were saying, oh boy, like, I can't remember how they worded it, but they were basically saying like, wow, Delorme, that's expensive. And we thought about it, and it's interesting because we kind of did want to mention that we didn't buy a 30-foot boat, and we don't currently live and cruise on a 30-foot boat because we're, you know, deadbeat poor people. We don't have a whole lot of cash, but the point is that we wanted to make sure that we had the money for high quality cruising equipment as well as a boat. And so we see a lot of people who have big boats and can't afford anything else. And I mean big subjectively, right? It's big for them. Mm-hmm. We've met people our age that have like 40-foot boats, and I don't think we've ever come across a situation like that where you go aboard and you're like, wow, this is nice. Mm. Like normally you're like, man, this is a dump.
Yeah, or like they have to sacrifice on their dinghy, it doesn't plane, or they have to, you know, they don't use electricity at night, or like things like that. So we decided to go small so that we could actually afford to buy what we considered really essential cruising and safety gear. Yeah. And we consider the Delorme a big safety feature.
Yeah, totally. Or the dinghy is a perfect example. Little shit did cost a pretty penny between the Zodiac rib and then the Tohatsu outboard. You know, it's a brand new 4-stroke 2-cylinder little gasoline outboard, and so you could look at that and say, oh, how posh of you, you know. But at the same time, that's how we experience 80% of what we do while we're cruising. If we couldn't get up on a plane, we wouldn't be able to get to half of the places that we go to, whether it be free diving, spearfishing, exploring. And so, again, that's one of those neat things about buying a relatively small boat. And I don't mean 30 foot for everybody. I mean, as we often say, the smallest boat that you're comfortable with. Because then you'll have the money for all that other stuff. Because the boat itself isn't close to everything that you need. It's just amazing how much other stuff you need to effectively cruise well. Okay, so can you tell? Let's see here. SC1212 Abel says, do you guys ever see yourself buying a catamaran?
No.
What do you think, homie?
No.
Well, I would be fine buying a catamaran. I have no like philosophical or like fundamental issues with a catamaran.
They're always way out of our price range.
They're just expensive.
To me, that's like saying, would you ever consider going into debt? No.
Well, you never know. Maybe we'll come up with some clever idea one of these days and start making, you know, some decent money. We'll see. But real quick, Junior Lalonde, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And also we missed a couple. Scott Tillotson, who, by the way, just messaged me the other day on our Facebook page. He has a hilarious story. If you guys have seen one of our episodes, Jordan and I are making really loud sex noises. And
fake. We're not having sex.
Right, just fake sex noises. And that's like the intro to our video. And so Scott was on his anniversary dinner, 25th anniversary dinner with his wife, and she went to the bathroom and he went to check a comment on that video, and he said the sex noises started playing throughout the restaurant. Everyone was looking at him. So he said we're forever etched into his anniversary memories.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, Desiree read me that comment. Was it this morning?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just thought that was the funniest thing.
And
That's
then
awesome.
Stephen Lee going in the hat.
All right. So as for catamarans again, So I think that there's nothing fundamentally wrong with them. And yes, I would love to someday live on a catamaran, specifically because we would love to have that kind of space, you know. But at the end of the day, with our philosophy of not overextending ourselves financially in the boat, I can't really imagine ourselves going with a catamaran. I could see upgrading to a larger boat. We'll see what the used catamaran market is like in 20 years. I mean, you never know, but I think we're going to be monohullers for a long time.
Ralph Lang's going in again. He says, a drink of choice for Des, since you have your beer. Another t-shirt, please.
All right, rock on. And we got John Archard.
Thank
says,
you, John.
Well, why not, right? Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Aw,
Love the way
you.
you guys are out there living life on your catch. Hey, thanks, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been going well so far. And then Dave is back in it. Says, hey, have you guys met many other young full-time cruisers / liveaboards around your / our age? That's a really good question, Dave. We were just talking to someone about this earlier today. Not many is the quick answer to that. But every now and then we do meet people. I think at our age, most people who are traveling are backpacking. And so you just don't see many young people that make the rather large commitment of dedicating so much of their time to fixing a boat up, basically. Because I think if you're independently wealthy in our age, then sorry.
You're good.
Desiree, you gotta stop drinking.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. So if you're our age and independently wealthy, then sure, you can buy a boat and go tomorrow. Why not? But for most people our age, you haven't had a chance to put away any cash, and so you basically are forced to buy a shitty boat and deal with a long, arduous refit. And there's just not a lot of young people willing to put all that time and energy into something like that.
But when we do meet young couples, I think we met like 2. It is really fun to hang out with them because they've pretty much made similar life choices and decisions and sacrifices. So it's really nice to just be able to connect with someone on that level.
Yeah, every now and then it happens. We actually met a guy at the freediving school that we took our freediving course at, and he's getting his instructors, right? And he's got a boat in the Sea of Cortez. But like most people our age, he has to do it sort of seasonally and then works seasonally.
Yeah, so he's a full-time fisherman, and then, well, not full-time, but he fishes 6 months out of the year in order to make his money, and then sails and travels 6 months out of the year. So yeah. Pretty cool guy. Hugo Benitez says, where does the Bud's name come from?
Good question. Can I just answer this real quick though? Several people are asking what our age is.
Oh, okay.
That's a good question. Like we never said.
Yeah.
So I'm 31.
And I'm 32.
And she's 32.
But my birthday is
January 3rd.
Yes.
So it's coming up.
And tell them what I'm getting for my birthday.
Oh, so for her birthday, I'm gonna help make / have made bars that slide in where our washboards go over the companionway, and then create a way to lock the sliding hatch so that we can have ventilation at night, but so that Desiree can stop like losing sleep over the idea of someone boarding the boat at night. She has a really hard time. She has a lot of anxiety about someone someday, boarding the boat, coming inside at night. And so these bars will basically keep that from ever happening. So
call them birthday bars. I'm really excited.
The birthday bars are coming up. But real quick about the age though, so I think when we bought Atticus, that would have been 5 years ago. So when we bought Atticus, I was 27, 26-ish, and you were 28 roughly, 29. And I was really happy because we started cruising. We left Key West like
right before you turned 30.
Right before I turned 30. So I would make fun of Desiree a lot. I'd be like, well, I cruised in my 20s. I don't know about you. I was a cruiser in my 20s, but just barely. It's I don't know if we've ever met people in their 20s cruising.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen them on the internet, but I've never actually, because you got to get your shit together a little bit, you know. You have to have some money and the time and you know, I'd imagine it'd be very, very difficult to get all that together in your early 20s.
John Wilbanks, thank you very much. Name's going in the hat. He says, enjoying your videos, getting better and better. Great job. Hope to see you on the water one day. Ditto.
Rock on. So what was the question that I interrupted?
Somebody was asking about where the term buds come from.
You should answer that because it was basically you.
Yeah. I guess. Should I tell them a little cookie story?
Sailing SB Someday says, I've seen unicorns on the internet.
That's awesome.
That's basically what a early 20-year-old cruiser is. Yeah, that's funny.
The short story is I just started calling Jordan Buddy, and then it turned to Bud, and then we both started calling each other Buds, and it hasn't stopped.
Well,
do you want me to tell the whole story?
I mean, I think the other thing is Desiree doesn't like conventional terms of endearment. Let's just put it that way. Like, she appalls me calling her anything like sweetheart or honey. Like, she's probably like flinching right now. She can't stand it. So if you listen in the videos, I'll call her stuff like homie,
bro,
and bro, and bud, almost because I'm making fun of the fact that she doesn't like the conventional names. Like, if I can't use the conventional names, I'm gonna call you absurd names.
Yeah.
And so that's where all that kind of the masculine terms of endearment or nicknames and stuff come from. And
I love it when he calls me bro ashore, because people are like, is she a dude?
Yeah, maybe? I'm like, hey, what's up, bro?
Maybe I am.
That's what I tell, like, whenever we get hate on the internet, a lot of times people will be like, stop calling her Bud, like, you're ruining her self-esteem. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's a man. Which I don't know, is she? I don't know. This is awkward.
Dave says, my little angel.
That's a good one.
Buttercup muffin.
Buttercup, yeah. Send us your most like vomit worthy terms of endearment.
Yeah.
I want to hear them.
I think schnookums is the worst.
So SC1212 Abel has a good question. Says, Jordan, do you think our Dana 24 would handle an Atlantic crossing? I think the Dana would handle it just fine. I wonder how well you would handle it. And I'm not even like, I mean, me or anybody. It's one of those things where, like they say, you will break before your boat does. And if you've got a good, well-founded boat, I believe that wholeheartedly. And so the question is that sound like something that would be fun for you? And for a lot of people, it would be, and for a lot of people, it wouldn't be. Because I can tell you on our boat, the motion can be pretty extreme. I can imagine on a 24-foot boat, it would be even more extreme. And so you got to kind of judge it in that sense. But I think the Dana 24 is considered one of the most seaworthy pocket cruisers out there, if I believe, right? You've got the Falmouth cutter or whatever, the one that really that really popular sailing channel.
Which one? Vagabond?
No. Abandoned Comfort. They just bought the Falmouth Cutter 22, and then there's one other that I'm trying to think of here, the Vega, but anyway, there's a handful of small pocket cruisers that I think will basically take you anywhere, and I would say the Dana 24 is one of them.
Dave sent us some really good questions here. Also, I missed a couple of PayPal donations, so thanks guys for those of you who've taken the time to do PayPal donation, because they don't take as much of a cut as Super Chat. So we've got West Shore Corp. Thank you very much.
Cheers, man.
We got DSO Technologies. Cheers. And Hans Jensen. Thank you, Hans.
Cheers, Hans. Gracias, amigo. Okay, so we got a couple of good. Yeah, there you go. Bobby Andel says the North Sea 27. Nice one. Yeah, that's a really nice boat as well. The Flicka, that's another good one. A Flicka would be good. Yeah, the Albin Vega, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, in fact, if you go on to bluewaterboats.org and just look at all the boats that are, under 28 feet, all those pocket cruisers are great. But we got a couple of good vomit-worthy nicknames. Honey Bucket, Sweet.
Oh, honey bucket. Oh.
Sweetie pie. We got sugar britches is what I used to call my lady, says Sailing Ancora Uno. That's awesome. Sailing as we someday says schmoopy.
Anything that just sounds like you're like gargling or something.
Yeah.
Schlappity schloop.
Yeah, Samantha Carey says pedal. Geoff Gillow says, I call my significant other Lizard. That's awesome. That's a Desiree name.
I like that
What's
one.
up, T-Rex?
What's up, Velociraptor?
Yeah.
B-Raptor.
Boom. And then Thomas Speck says, Schnookies. Yeah.
Schnookies? Oh my gosh.
Matthew Smith says Bay, or probably Babe. SV Someday says hat me.
On it. All over.
On it. Yeah, that's really funny. Bobby Undell says sweet meat. Oh man, that's interesting.
Baby cakes.
Yeah.
Good question here.
Oh, and then Giovanna says old lady.
Giovanna's here?
Yeah, what's up, Giovanna?
Weird.
Giovanna is Desiree's more Latina looking sister.
Yeah, and I call her Little One.
Little. Yeah, but old lady is what Paul, is that my Paul? My Paul.
Yeah, your Paul, yeah.
My Paul? Yeah.
I got a
that's
good
funny.
question here. KW asks, oh, not that one, sorry. Breck does not compute asks, any advice for somebody about to buy a boat for the first time?
Yeah, my advice for anyone about to buy a boat for the first time is good luck. No,
It's super helpful.
we met a couple of Project Atticus fans in the Rio who were in the process of buying their first boat, and I spent probably multiple hours with each of them trying to go over all the different pieces of advice that I think they should know. And then I realized that even the advice that I was giving them was very much framed from our experience, and their experience might be different, and so my advice might not be good. Like I was telling them to be really, really cautious about the boat that they buy, but that's because we were less cautious than we should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them, maybe I'm scaring the hell out of them, and now they're never going to buy a boat, or it's going to take them too long, and it's so the point is just good luck. Like you're going to figure it all out. That's probably my best advice. You're going to figure it out. And in fact, if you just don't give up, you're gonna be the man someday, or the woman, right? You're gonna be the bro someday, and if you just don't stop. So just don't stop. You know what I mean? Recognize that it's gonna be really hard. Don't give yourself too hard of a time. It's gonna take you a while, and just keep going and keep learning.
I would say two things. The first is spend as much time on sailboats as possible before you buy your boat. So if you can afford it, try to do like a passage or a class. If you can't afford it, try to just race on sailboats anywhere near you. A lot of times they're looking for crew, and if you're just willing and persistent, you can get a lot of experience that way. And then the other thing I would say is if you're on a budget, and we get this a lot because a lot of people message us and ask us about their price range and if they think that this boat that they're looking for is a good boat. And I would always say, make sure in your cost, in the budget that you have for your boat, be sure to include hauling it out, maybe getting it surveyed if you don't know much about boats, as well as pricing out the cruising gear that you're going to want on your boat. So a lot of people think, okay, I've got $35,000 for a boat, and then they buy a boat for $30,000, and then they have way more expenses than they anticipated because they need to buy a dinghy, an outboard, new sails, rigging, and it just adds up. So just my advice would be the cost of the boat is marginal, and really, really incorporate the bigger picture into your plans.
Great. No, I totally agree with that. Real quick, Sailing Vessel Uncensored wants us to give a shout out to Pumpkin. Hey Pumpkin, she's cooking right now, so we gotta say hello to her. Thanks a lot, Sailing Vessel Uncensored.
So
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Yeah, and what you cooking, Pumpkin?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So we got a couple of. Dave has sent us a bunch of questions that we've missed, so I'm going to try and power through them real quick.
And
first of
we
all,
gotta do the drawing soon.
Yeah. First of all, Waukesha Pilot says, Desiree, blink twice if you're being held captive. Sorry. Okay, and then I saw, this is a great question. Brian McClellan asks, do port and marina charges eat your lunch, or is cruising relatively inexpensive? I would say yes and yes, if that makes sense. Because you can live at anchor when you're cruising, and cruising is super cheap. I'm sorry. Living at anchor is super cheap. You're gonna have the same maintenance issues no matter what. I would almost say living at anchor is better on the maintenance side because you're running all of your systems regularly, and you're gonna find problems before they get too bad. Whereas if you're at a dock, you can have a problem and it can just get worse and worse and worse and worse because you don't discover that problem from lack of use. That said, marina expenses can be really affordable depending on where you are, and that's something that I didn't realize. I remember I was reading Lynn and Larry Party's books, and they were in marinas all the time. I mean, they would very regularly stay in marinas, and I was thinking, well, great, like this doesn't apply to us. We're never going to be able to afford to stay in marinas. But as it turns out, there's a lot of places like here in the Bay Islands. Somebody was saying that this marina right next to us, you can get in there for $4 per foot per month. What? That's amazing. That's $120 for us for a month.
Hot showers for a month.
There's another marina that we're going to be going to that's just over $200 for the month for us. So,
and that's on the high end.
Yeah.
Steve Jennings, I got your PayPal donation. Thank you very much.
So to quick answer
and
that.
Brad Scott.
So quick answer that question. Our cruising budget is about $1,200 a month. That does not incorporate larger maintenance issues like the end of the year maintenance list kind of thing. That's just taking care of day-to-day stuff, food, some entertainment, and then on top of that, living at anchor versus living at a dock can really change that. Some places docks are more expensive than others. So there you go. Corey Brown in the house.
Brown,
hey buddy, I hadn't seen you comment yet. Glad you made it. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm gonna keep
going in the hat.
I'm gonna keep blasting through these things here. Brad Scott says there was a picture earlier this week of you with a wind generator between your legs. Jordan, is there something we should know? That's right. I swing human and electronic. Does that make sense?
For your kicks.
Yeah, that's right. That's really funny. Yeah, we actually just released our review of our Silent Wind generator. So if you're interested in knowing what we think of our Silent Wind, you can check out our website and see our review of that. SV of Spirit Libre asked, did you work out the logistics of giving away a few shirts or just the one? Did we work out what we're going to do for just one? And what is it?
The logistics?
No, are we going to give away one t-shirt or more than one?
That was your decision.
Oh, that was my decision.
I was looking at him weird.
Yeah, we are going to give away 2 t-shirts today. Okay. So I'm sorry, I totally forgot about that. I'm going to keep going through these questions, and it's getting close to time for us to wrap up. So for any of you folks that are just joining us, we're doing a Project Atticus t-shirt giveaway. And so basically, if you donate $5 or more via Super Chat or PayPal, your name goes into the cool Guatemalan cowboy hat. And then we are going to be pulling 2 names out of this hat here in about 10 minutes or so. So we got a little bit more time. And all the money that we make today during this live stream goes to buying a new GoPro, because this one is on its way to GoPro heaven.
Yeah, poor little guy.
Okay, so a couple more things here. Let's see.
And then Carl Fair says, how does one do PayPal? And I think Dave has the link for that. So if you scroll up, you could probably find it. If not, he'll probably link to it in a second.
Yeah. So who was it that asked this? Matthew Smith asks, what is the container behind you? Good question. So this is probably my new favorite thing on the boat. It's a Helio shower. And it's, I believe, 5 gallons. Is that what it is? The capacity is somewhere around 5 gallons. And basically how it works is this container pressurizes via this foot pump. So you stand up and you just pump that bad boy, pressurizes the main container, which allows water to come up through this nozzle. and it's got a nice long hose, so you can do it while standing. And what I like about this whole system is that it doesn't rely on electricity. It's fairly darn simple, so the odds of it breaking are relatively low. And then using a nozzle like this as opposed to like a gravity feed shower saves a lot of water, because you don't need the water to like trickle down your body to get the soap off. You can apply it directly where you need it. And on top of that, it gets real darn hot. It's solar heated.
Yeah.
And so we love this thing, and it gets real compact. It stows super compact because this is only this large because it's pressurized. It completely deflates. And so what we are able to do is basically once a week, we take this thing in the dinghy, go fill it up somewhere ashore, being the water pirates that we are, and then bring it back, and we're good to go for a week. So highly recommend this for the budget cruiser. Yeah.
And then we've got Alan Davis, thank you very much, and Daniel Parker. Alan Davis says, "Hey buds, what's up?" And then,
what up, Alan?
We got Lawrence Whited and Sailing SV Someday for another one. For real though, Jordan, let's do a drawing for the hat soon. It's awesome. Awesome. Well, let's do it.
We will do a drawing for the hat. And we've actually talked about that. Is if you guys are interested in this, we've talked about, because we don't normally buy stuff. It's not because we think we're high and mighty. We literally have just made the rule. That's how we save money, is we don't buy like memorabilia. We don't buy things as we travel, if that makes sense. That way it's not even in our head. We don't spend time looking at stores, and it works out for us. But it would be kind of fun if every time we saw something cool is if we bought it and then auctioned it off during a live stream. So if you're interested in that, you can tell us here. Also message us, through our Facebook page, and let us know if that's something that you're interested in. Because
the hardest part would be getting it to you guys. Like how the journey of this little hat to the United States would probably take a long time.
I like how you put it. Like the journey would be epic. Good
we've
point.
Got Wayne Payne on PayPal. Thank you very much.
And Corey Brown says, "Where did you get the shower at?" They're available on Amazon, I believe, right? Is there do we have an affiliate link for it?
Yep, in the bottom, in the description of all of our videos under sailing gear, it says Helio shower.
Yeah, and definitely, if you guys are ever curious about the stuff that we have, just scroll down on our descriptions, literally for any video, and you should see a bunch of links for the gear that we use. And if you use those links, we'll get a kickback, which is awesome.
We got Walter Fowler on PayPal. Thank you very much. All right, let's do this drawing. Oh, another one, Andrew Flux.
Okay. Let's see here.
Did I miss any? We should probably do this.
Okay, cool. You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Oh no, another one. Charles Mueller. Thank you very much. Let me know if I miss any on Super Chat.
Okay, so your latest one is Charles Mueller. SV Someday's in for another one. Do you see that?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, they say, SV Someday says, "For real though, Jordan, let's do a drawing for that." Oh, I'm sorry. You already read that. Gosh, I'm just such an idiot. I can't believe that you guys keep me around.
All right, I think that's it. Let's do it. All right,
Okay.
you want to pick or you want me to?
I think we'll do the same thing. I'll stir it,
Okay.
and then you pick it.
One
And
more.
while I'm stirring,
My tea going in the hat. Oh,
Yeah.
Corey Brown. How did I miss that?
did you not get Corey Brown? That was a little while ago. I've been scrolling up.
Okay, yeah. No, I saw him. That was like 20 minutes ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. While you're writing that one, KW asks, cost of checking into countries, is it expensive? It really depends on the country. Basically, Belize or Cuba are quite expensive. The Bay Islands, it's almost nothing. And so it comes down to the government and the politics of that place, and just how much money they want to make off of cruisers versus how much they want to incentivize them to come and spend money in the local economy. To me, it's almost like it's just a way for the government to make money at that point. So it depends on each government, I guess you would say. So,
All right, let's do it.
okay, here we go, guys. The winner of the first Atticus t-shirt is... Go for it, buddy. No. Is it SV Someday?
Yes.
It's SV Someday.
Winning Project Atticus. All right, let's do another one.
Nice one, guys. Good Lord.
Oh man.
Okay.
My hands just want you.
Okay, so let's stir this one real good. Okay, you ready, bud?
Yeah.
Okay, go get in there.
Okay.
Do it.
Stephen Lee.
Stephen Lee.
All right. And so just go ahead and message us on our Facebook page, and I will send you the information. I will need your shipping address and size. So just head over to our storefront, which is linked to down below. You could also search Teespring Project Atticus, and that'll take you to our storefront. Let us know what shirt you want, and we will get that sent for you.
That's right. So make sure Stephen Lee, you gotta message us on Facebook. And SV Someday, we'll talk to you we'll probably talk to you after the live stream. you guys have got it, man.
Yeah,
well done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, and Sail Libra says Cuba has a $75 visa fee, $15 for the boat, and marina fees vary. Yeah, and that's what we found, was that the marina fee at Marina Hemingway, he was kind of sticking us, remember? I think he tacked on like some large fee.
Like service fee.
Yeah, and it was basically just a
bribe.
Yeah, bribe.
Yeah, bribe.
Yeah.
All right, and a couple things we wanted to mention before we head out is, if you are at all interested in doing a Sail Libra trip, you can always use code PA Offshore, all caps, to get a big discount. Right now, you've got a $500 discount on that Caribbean tour trip. And if you sign up before Friday, you get a Project Atticus koozie and some Sail Libra swag, which is exciting. Also, if you never want to miss a live stream in the future, you can text the word Atticus in all caps, ATTICUS, to 43506, and you'll get a text notification 15 minutes before we go live.
So, and I'm sorry, I normally have a graphic that comes up, but it's not working right now, and I don't know why. So can you just repeat that one more time?
You can text.
But slower and more sensual.
Can't do that.
How about I'll do the sensual face, and you just say it slowly.
Okay, text Atticus to 43506.
That's right, cowboy.
Oh, thanks, Dave. I just missed your last name. Can you scroll up a little bit? I can't see his name. Dave Metheny.
Metheny.
Awesome.
Cheers, Dave.
Cheers.
Gracias, amigo.
And then, for those of you who weren't able to get your free Project Atticus t-shirt tonight, we're also doing a holiday sale, so you can use code BUD2018 and get 10% off of your Project Atticus swag until December 25th.
Wait, you mean to say that we can get 10% off of any Atticus swag?
That's what I said.
That's crazy. They're practically giving those things away.
Oh my gosh. You're good at that, bud.
Thank you. It's the hat.
He's in character.
Robert Mills says, Jordan, you big stud. Thank you kindly.
And then last thing, if you guys are in the giving spirit and you find yourself on Amazon and you're thinking about buying anything for your friends and loved ones, if you click on our affiliate link and then buy anything else on Amazon, we get a little kickback.
So basically, if you're navigating to Amazon to do some purchasing, it helps us if you literally go to one of our videos, go to the description, and click on one of those affiliate links for any of those products, and then just navigate to whatever you want.
And our wish list is also bit.ly, so bit.ly/Project Atticus, and that'll take you to our Amazon wish list. And that has some stuff that we're jonesing for too.
Yeah, okay, cool. And you know, this is something that we don't talk about too much, but I know we weren't able to get to a lot of your comments, so we really apologize. We do the best that we can. If you've got a question that's just really burning and you really want to have answered, message it to us privately. Message us on our Facebook page. And that way, like we did today, we have some comments kind of ready to go. We have some answers ready to go. And that's the best way for you to kind of engage with us if you're hoping that on our next live stream we'll be able to address your questions.
And also we got another PayPal donation from Scott Hewitt. Thank you very much. You're awesome.
Kevin Walker says there's no link to the shower. Is that because of a live stream description?
Oh, maybe.
Should he just go to another video?
Yes. Yes. I will, after this, I will add the link to this video description as well. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Or you can go to our webpage, projectatticus.com/sponsors, and scroll through and you'll see Helio is in there. And we love them.
But you know what? You could just search them on Amazon if we don't have it in the description. Okay. All right, gang. Well, Say Libra says, great live chat, guys. I'm headed down to Duval.
Nice.
It's part of the job.
Have fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Ryan. Yeah, you got to put in some tough hours, it sounds like.
Sounds like a tragedy.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Well, sounds like that's about it.
Yeah.
You want to say goodbye, Desiree?
One question. Giovanna says, question on your swag website. If shirts do not specify women, does that mean the shirt is men's? It means it's unisex. So you can get it for a female, but just try to get a smaller size.
Yeah, there you go.
But get the bud shirt so we could be twinsies.
Yeah. Desiree loves it when we match. I'm lucky she didn't get one of these hats.
I know.
How embarrassing would that be?
There's not enough room on Atticus for 2 of those.
Yeah, there's not enough room for one of these.
Yeah, we don't. It just like lives in different compartments.
This thing floats.
Yeah.
Like when we wake up, we put it in the V-bird, and then when we go to bed, we move it and we move it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that was so much fun, and I don't know if we're gonna do one next week because a week from now will be Christmas.
Yeah.
So we may be taking a week off of this. Maybe we should do one when like my folks are here and we can talk about like
we'll see.
woodworking with my dad.
That would be
something.
really cool. Yeah. Just check our Facebook page to see when we'll do our next one, though.
Yeah. Okay, gang. Well, thanks for stopping by. That was super fun, and we will see you guys. If not next week, then very soon we'll do another one of these live streams.
And thank you, Dave. You're amazing.
All right. Yeah. Everybody say thank you to Dave before we go. Real quick, say thank you to Dave. Thank you, Dave. You're absolutely the man. And definitely check out Dave's YouTube channel at
DVZire.
Dot.
It's like YouTube / DVZire.
Sorry. Yeah, it's DVZire.
Click on his name and it'll take you there.
Literally click on that name and it'll take you to his.
Do you have his video?
I don't think it's working.
Oh, never mind.
Let's see. I don't know. Let's just let this thing roll out. Maybe it'll. I don't know why nothing's working.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I got to reconfigure this stuff.
All
right. Cool.
Well,
Here we go.
Dave.
Everyone's thanking Dave.
Nice. 300 thank you, Daves. That's awesome.
Woo for Dave. Okay.
Dave, sorry.
Cool.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. See you guys next time. Awkward.